that the care I got that night was horrible. The care I got that night was suboptimal. The care I got that night should never Hello guys, hello people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Chidi and I'm a lifestyle vlogger. I make videos about my lifestyle, family, motherhood and some bits of medical school. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. And I'm happy you've joined us here today, and hopefully you subscribe for more interesting content. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always watching my videos. I really do appreciate. So guys, I know I've been MIA and I've not been posting as regularly because, you know, life just got so busy, and yes, we've got a lot of things going on in the background. And guys, I've just been drowning, you know, having two under two is very challenging and difficult. And yes, so it's been really difficult for me, but I'm so excited that I've got the opportunity to come on here and, you know, interact with you guys and also make a video today. So yes, I'm so pumped for the video today. I'm so excited, although it might be a very sad topic, but at the same time I'm hoping you learn from my own experiences, so you don't go on to have a very sad experience like I did during my baby's birth. So guys, I've already talked about so I've already given you a glimpse of what the topic today is going to be. So guys, it's going to be about my experience when I had my second baby. So my second baby, Onyechi, she's nearly 7 months old, and I had her back in February, and it wasn't the best experience, you know, during her birth. It wasn't the best one. So I've just come on here to tell you guys a story about my second baby's labor and birth experience. Not necessarily labor. So as you guys know, and if you've been like a subscriber to my channel, you would know I released my baby's birth stroke delivery video, and that video is on my channel, so you can go have a look at it and see how the delivery went. So I had a planned C-section, and it was the best birth experience that I would ever think of having, because everything went as planned and it was so smooth. However, so in today's video, obviously, I'm going to be telling you guys what happened after my labor, and you know, it's called a postnatal experience and how it all went. So guys, things started going downhill after I got discharged from the labor ward and I was being transferred to the postnatal ward. So, and you guys, you know, I had a C-section, and it was also during the pandemic. So that meant that I couldn't have my family around me, because with my first baby, I did have my mom with me the whole time. And my husband was also around to help. But my mom, she was there in the hospital, and she, you know, slept over for the entirety of the time I spent in the hospital after I had my son. And she was so much, you know, helpful and useful during my stay in the hospital. However, when I had my second baby, it was during the whole pandemic stuff, and when visiting was restricted, so family were not allowed to, you know, sleep over. So it was just me with my baby and, you know, the staff. So, and you know, prior to that, that was one of my concerns, because, you know, having had my mom with me during the in the hospital during the whole time after I had my, you know, baby, so I was used to that kind of experience. I was used to, like, you know, having my mom, you know, sleep over and, you know, stay with me. Sorry, I've got Onyechi here, so I'm also trying to keep an eye on her. So guys, so like, yeah, so going back to what I was saying, so with my first one, you know, I had my mom the whole time, so I was already used to, like, you know, that kind of experience. But like with my second baby, I knew that wasn't going to be like possible anymore, and it did give me some sort of anxiety. But at the same time, I just wanted to, like, you know, try to stay calm, and, you know, also believe in the net, and believe, obviously, like, I've got people around, I've got the midwives and, you know, other support staff around to help me. So I was confident I was going to get the sort of help I needed. So, you know, and obviously there was no way I couldn't do anything about the situation at hand, because they were not allowed to, like, you know, sleep over. So I remember, so on the 17th I had my baby, C-section. So I was transferred to the postnatal ward around 12 midnight. So the following day, just entering the following day. So guys, I'm going to start narrating what happened. So after I got transferred, my husband wasn't allowed to even come into the ward with me. We just said our goodbyes at the door, and I was really feeling, sad and low. So, and after we got to the ward, my baby was, in her, cot, while I was transferred to my bed. So thereafter, I said goodbyes to the midwife that, that was looking after me in the labor ward, and also facilitated the transfer. So when I was in the, postnatal ward, so I was just there, what, normally what you expect, like after you've been transferred to a different ward, you expect that the midwives, they come to you, introduce themselves to you, try to, know you and see if you want anything. So guys, can you believe that I was there? I was transferred at 12 midnight, and 2 hours later, 2 a.m., nobody had even come to me to find out if I was okay, to find out if I needed like a jug of water, to find out if my baby was okay, to find out if I even needed anything doing for my baby. Because remember guys, I just had a C-section, so I was in so much pain. I wasn't even mobilizing at that point. I couldn't do anything for myself. I was just like, laid on my bed. Guys, mind you, so I was in a bay with 6 other women, and I wasn't sure if my bay was filled to capacity at that point, but I was pretty sure there were 2 women at either sides of me. And throughout the night, so for the 2 hours I was there, at least they were like staff that was coming in and leaving the bay, and they were attending to the women, on either sides of me, and nobody had even come to see me at that point in time. So, and I just realized I was, drenched in my own, blood and the, whatever that was going on there, because obviously, like at that point, I couldn't do anything for myself, so I needed help. So that's when I realized I didn't even have the call bell. So if you're in hospital in the UK, obviously, like there's a call bell, like it's called a patient call bell. So it's something you can always press if you need like help, if you need someone to like come to you. So I realized I didn't have the call bell on me. So it was supposed to have been giving me, like after I moved to the ward, the nurses were supposed to have come to check me out and handed me the call bell. But nobody came to me, and when I needed the midwife, I realized I could not even reach my call bell. So the call bell was still on the wall, and I couldn't reach it. So at that point, I was like, I didn't even know what to do. So I was just hoping that I could, I was hoping that I would be lucky enough to like, see any midwife, come along so I could beckon to them. And you know what happened? Because all the curtains were drawn as well, and the curtains were not transparent. So I just had to rely on the footsteps or maybe the voice of the midwives coming in or coming out for me to know, when to call for help. So I think about 45 minutes later, a midwife, walked across to the lady on the other side of me, because I could hear the conversation. So that's when I realized it was a midwife attending to the lady beside me. So, and after she'd finished with the lady, and I was just trying to listen carefully so I could call on to her to like help me, because that was the only way I could get someone to help me. So as I was trying to listen carefully, and as she was leaving the other women, that's when I had to like beckon to her to like, excuse me. And then she now came to me. I'm like, sorry, is it all right? Can I get change? Can I get someone to help me get change? Because I'm really wet down there. And that was what I said to her. She was like, it's fine. Someone is coming. And even at that point in time, she didn't even like deem it necessary to introduce herself to me. And she didn't even care to find out what my name was, or to even ask me how my baby was doing. Like none of that. None of those, introduction was done or observed. Even after I called on to her, and they definitely knew I was a new patient because I've just recently been moved, but she didn't even know what I was called. She didn't introduce herself to me. So, but she said to me someone was going to come help me. So I was just there waiting, and eventually someone came, and they were in a rush. You could see like they were in a rush, because when they came to me, there was no introduction whatsoever. They didn't even ask me how I was doing. They didn't even ask me if my baby wanted anything. So she just came in a rush and, changed, and she changed me like as quickly as she could, and not even trying to be gentle, because obviously I was in pain. I don't think she even considered that I could have been in pain, and just tried to be gentle, during the whole changing process. Like it wasn't even in my head. She was just trying to get the task done as soon as possible. So, and I didn't even complain at that point, because I thought to myself, they might be busy, so it's fine. But I don't think I should be making excuses for them, because come on, I've just come from a surgery, not even 24 hours earlier, and I'm in so much pain, and yet like I wasn't being looked after properly. So it wasn't the right thing to do. So I'm just putting it out there for people to actually know their rights and know what is expected of you know, the staff when you go into hospital. So after she changed me and all that, and left. So after she left, I still was in pain because before they transferred me to the postnatal ward, I started experiencing so much pain, to which I complained to the doctor when I was still in the theater, and he prescribed stronger painkillers for me. So when I got to the ward, obviously that night, I, you know, started to, you know, have so much pain. And so at that point, I rang the call bell, and one of the midwives that was supposed to be taking care of me came that night. And guys, same thing, she didn't even know my name. I did not know her name. And she didn't even ask me how my baby was doing, if I was able to, like, because guys, I was in so much pain, and my baby was in a cot beside me, but because of the pain around like my abdominal area, I couldn't even lift my baby from the cot to me to breastfeed. So that was how hard it was. And nobody even cared to, you know, ask me if I could do all these things by myself, knowing that I've just returned from the theater. So anyway, I asked for painkillers, and then she came to me, and she was demanding to know why I had asked for stronger painkillers, that she could give me paracetamol or ibuprofen. So that's what I mentioned to her, that taking those ones and they were not doing anything for my pain. So I would need more strong painkillers, and that's what I spoke to the doctor earlier on before I got transferred. That the painkillers that were currently prescribed for me were doing nothing for my pain, so I would need like stronger painkillers. So the doctor agreed with me and prescribed it for me as at when necessary. So I knew all this, and yet when I did ask for her to give me codeine, so that was what I wanted, and she declined it, demanding to know why I was requesting for stronger painkillers. So that I found that very frustrating, because I'd just been there. She didn't even care to know who I was. Having been a patient that was just being transferred from the theater, having just had my baby, you know, like less than 24 hours ago. She didn't even get to know me or my baby, and yet she was demanding to know why I wanted strong painkillers to her. Yeah, so guys, I was prescribed some blood thinners, and to be given the same night, because my midwife, before she left, the midwife have transferred me to the postnatal ward. She said to me my blood thinners are supposed to be given in a few hours. So, you know, I had that in mind, because obviously, because I had risk factors for blood clots, so it was imperative that I had my, you know, blood thinners ASAP. And I also knew before my blood thinners were to be given, I needed to have been, you know, weighed, because weighing me helps to, like, you know, calculate the correct dosage of medication to be, you know, administered. So I had all that in mind, and, you know, also being a medical student helps, because I know how most things work. So guys, can you believe that I stayed there the whole night, and my blood thinners are not given the whole night? Even when I reminded them, I think I reminded them about twice about giving the blood thinners, and yet I was ignored. And because I know the complications, I know the consequences of not, you know, having your blood thinners on time, because obviously, because I had the risk factors of blood clots. So the whole time I was really anxious. I was, you know, thinking I was going to develop blood clots and all that, and I did not help my anxiety at all. Fast forward, I think a couple of hours later, you know, I started feeling very itchy. You know, the anesthetics they use on me always makes me feel very itchy. I'm not sure what medication it is in particular, but I had the same experience with Nate as well. After my C-section, I started feeling very itchy all over my body. So I did call them to say, oh, I'm feeling very itchy, and it's making me feel very uncomfortable. So it's just one thing to be in pain, but it's another thing to be both in pain and very itchy. So that's what I mentioned to them, and say, can you get the doctor to please prescribe something for me, because my entire body was like proper, like I was scratching like a mad person, like scratching everywhere, and it wasn't just making me feel comfortable. She was like, oh yes, I'm gonna get the doctor, but that was it. I didn't hear back from them again. So, and then around 4 or 5, you know, I was just feeling very dirty. I just wanted to like have a bath. So I rang the call bell again. I was like, hey, I would like to have my bath. I think it took about an hour, and nobody was coming to me, guys. Like, nobody was coming. And at that point, my whole body, I was like, nah, I need to use the bathroom. So I just started to, like, you know, manage as just tried to like, you know, manage to as much as I can do, trying to reach my luggage. My luggage was on the locker beside me, and I was in so much pain, guys. I was just trying my best to reach my luggage so I could get my toiletries out and, you know, go to the bathroom. So I eventually, you know, saw a tax that would ordinarily take me 5 minutes if I'm well. It took me like roughly 30 minutes to get to my luggage, to open my luggage, to get to like locate everywhere everything is. And at that point, I was feeling really sad. I was weeping. I was like, oh my God, like, I can't believe what experience I'm having tonight. Like, it was horrible, like the most horrible experience I've had. So, and I managed to get all my stuff out, and then I went to the bathroom, guys. So when I was walking to the bathroom, guys, I was like hunched over and I was like limping because I could not walk because of the pain in that area. I could not walk. I was like walking, you know, like it seemed like I was like 90 years old. I could not walk properly. I was like hunched over and limping. So guys, I managed to eventually get to the bathroom, sat myself down, and then when I realized I didn't even have any, you know, body wash on me. So I rang the callbell again, and I got someone over. So I just asked if I could, you know, have a body wash, and then she came back to me later and said there wasn't any on the ward. And I was just like speechless. I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Like, oh, we don't have anything on the ward. I'm not sure. We don't have anything. Sorry. And then she walked off. Ah! So guys, at that point, I was like devastated. Like, I was speechless. I was dumbfounded. I didn't even know. I was like, how am I supposed to wash myself? You guys, you know, like after a C-section, you've got blood all over there. You've got like, it's just nasty down there. Like, you need proper wash. It's not something you can just manage or do with water. You need like a proper body wash. So when she said they didn't have any, I just had to like turn off the shower slowly, and I was trying to like, you know, go back to my, you know, corner of the bed to see if I'd packed a body wash. I couldn't remember, you know, I was just still feeling very dizzy from the whole side effects of the anesthetic. So I was still recovering from the anesthetic, but I was feeling very dizzy. So I was, you know, managed to walk back to the to my bed to check my luggage to see if I could find something. And luckily enough, I did find a body wash, and then I, you know, started the whole process, the painful walk back to the, you know, shower room. So when I got there, I just managed. I was sat down on a chair. Obviously, I couldn't stand up for too long. So there was a chair there. So I sat down on the chair, trying my best to see how I could, like, you know, possibly give myself a wash so I could feel comfortable. So I just managed. I just thank God that I didn't even fall or anything, because, guys, after I had a C-section, I think the best thing to do, the safe thing to do, was to make sure somebody was there, even supervising. Someone was just around the door, supervising, making sure I was okay. Because guys, like I mentioned before, I was still recovering from the side effect of the anesthetic. I was still feeling very dizzy, and because of the pain, I just could not withstand standing up for too long or sitting down for too long or even washing myself. So that's why it was it could have been a good practice to have someone to like even offer to like with a bed wash, or even, you know, stand around the corner just in case I needed help. But none of those things were offered, so I was just left by myself to just carry on. And I struggled a lot that night, trying to, like, you know, wash myself and all that. So but eventually, because I'm a strong girl, and I'm just a strong girl, and I just trying to like get on with things. But yeah, so I, you know, managed to have my wash. And after that, I started, you know, the painful walk back to my bed. So when I went to the bed, I just started to like, you know, try to like, you know, dress myself in a hospital gown, try to like, you know, cream myself, because I was itchy. My whole body was itchy. And then, and after that, nobody even came to even check if I was all right, if I got to my bed okay, like no staff at all. So later on, my baby started crying, and you know, at that point, my breast milk wasn't flowing yet. So I came with my ready-made formula to give, because obviously from the first experience, I knew I knew about the expectations. I knew the breast milk wasn't going to flow, might not flow. So I was ready in that regard. So I started, you know, feeding my baby, and I was in so much pain around that area. but I just manage to, like, you know, try to, like, you know, get my baby out of the cot so I could feed her. Even when she was crying, nobody came to me. But guys, the whole night, the two women beside me were, you know, constantly being attended to, because I could hear, you know, when the staff was going to them both, I just could hear it, and that made me feel really bad. I felt abandoned. I just got suboptimal care. It wasn't just the best care ever. Like, guys, it was horrific. So, and luckily enough for me, so the whole night went. Even so, this the night staff, guys, I didn't even know their names. I don't even know what they looked like. That was how horrible the care was. So I'm not just saying this as, I don't think it reflects on the hospital really, because the next day my midwife, so the whole thing changed, the whole scenario changed the next day, because, you know, we got new faces. So in the morning I got a new midwife assigned to me, and she was an angel. So that was when I started realizing, it's not about the hospital really, it's about the people that, you know, that are assigned to you, the people that are working in a particular shift. It really depends on that, but sadly it should not depend on that, because at the same time they should be able to offer the same level of care to all patients, regardless of, like, who is taking care of you. It should just all be standard. Do you understand? So that is what I've always thought. So, but in my own case, it didn't happen that way. In my own case, it was dependent on the staff that was looking after me. So, guys, so in the morning, I, you know, got a new set of staff, and my midwife in the morning was brilliant. So it just confirmed to me the sort of care that should have been given to me. It wasn't just a myth. Do you understand? Because from the next day, she came to me, she introduced herself to me. She, like, you know, asked me how my baby was doing, asked me if I was okay with my breast milk, how I'm feeding my baby. So it was clear from that outset that the care I got that night was horrible. The care I got that night was suboptimal. The care I got that night should never have. So guys, it was just a cumulative of a whole lot of things that went wrong that night. It made my stay really in the hospital really horrible. It was very traumatizing for me. Even 6 months now on, I still remember everything, and I just feel, you know, I just feel shudders, and it's not really a good experience. I don't think anyone should be made to go through what I went through, and just, you know, less than 24 hours after giving birth through C-section. And anyway, that's what happened to me. So guys, like I was saying, so the next day with the new set of staff, like, the whole thing changed from having a horrible experience to having the best experience ever. In summary, the care I received the 9th after following my C-section was the worst ever. And 6 months on, my baby is nearly 7 months old. So whenever I remember that experience, I tend to, like, you know, have panic attacks. And it was a very traumatic experience. Even though my whole labor experience was brilliant, but just the postnatal one was nothing to write home about. So guys, that comes to the end of my video. I hope I've been able to pinpoint 1 or 2 things, and you've been able to learn from my experience, and hopefully that it doesn't happen to you. But if it does happen to you, at least you know what to do, and you know it's best to actually, like, speak up and stand for yourself. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like my video just to help me to get the exposure, and also consider subscribing to my channel for more interesting content. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.